Right. So we talked about um, what is an EHCP plan? What is an EHC plan, Education Healthcare Plan? As I said, it's a legal document that lays out your child's special educational needs and what they'd like to achieve, which is called outcomes, and the support they need to achieve these outcomes. An EHCP describes your young person's health and social care needs, which relate to their special educational needs, if that's relevant, and any specific support. The local authority, once you do have an educational and healthcare plan, is legally responsible for providing that provision, any special educational social care support described in the plan. The health element is always responsible for the healthcare service, so that's not local authority. So can you go next slide, please, Laura? Again, looking at what a plan is, if this is what you're pursuing it, and we will look at this in session 2 in much more detail. So we will be giving you advice about how to ensure it's fit for purpose. But an education and healthcare plan, effectively, there should be a golden thread, we always describe it, running through. It's broken down in educational healthcare plan into sections A to J. B, E, and F are the very specific bits. B states your child's special educational needs. E will be the outcomes, and F is the provision. That's the bit. My child will get X number of sessions, will get a one-to-one or X number of hours support a week. They will help them with X, Y, Z. But the A, section A, is about the child itself and your view, their aspirations and your aspirations for your child. So it describes your child, a young person. The B is their very specific needs, whether that's their communication and interaction, their social, emotional, mental health, their cognition and learning, their physical and sensory. And it will also, as they get older and they're transitioning into adulthood, look at those areas as well. The health needs, if that's relevant, which relate to their special educational needs. So that's very specific according to the child, how complex they might be. Any social care needs that relate to their SEN. We've talked about the outcomes, so that they will be, at the end of this, be able to do X, Y, Z. Yeah, they'll be able to learn independently. They will be able to access the learning resources. They'll be able to self-advocate. They will learn, it might be literacy outcomes, etc. The provision is the F, the G is the healthcare. So I'm going to jump over that. And then some of you in the other workshops we've got coming up might be interested in H, which is placement. Your child typically may be in mainstream education, but placement might be the right mainstream education. There are different mainstreams. Some have better SEN support than others. You know what's the best school for your child. Placement might also cover a specialist placement as well. Some of you may be looking at that as an option for your child. It might also include an EOTIS package, which I've just touched upon. Section I is details of any personal budget or direct payment. If your child is in mainstream school or a special school, this is probably not something that you would touch upon, and we don't tend to get very involved in it. It tends to come into play if you have an EOTIS package, where you've got a child with very complex needs and they are getting very bespoke provision that can't be provided in a normal mainstream school or a specialist school. And then section J sits at the back. It's all the advice and information used to draft the EHCP. So when you get if you get your final EHCP, it will be a little mini booklet made up of these different sections. I think that's just useful to gallop over. We will be in the next session be showing you specifically what sections B, E, F might look like and what makes a good plan. But at this stage, we're trying to get you a statutory assessment to get your plan.